Welcome back, kiddos. Today we got two more angle pairs for us to define and practice with. Should be pretty straightforward. I'm going to try to keep this video on the shorter side. So let's go ahead and get started. The first angle pair we are going to talk about today is complementary. Maybe we've heard this term before, but complementary angles are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So we have two angles that in total, when we add their angle measures together, we're going to get 90 degrees. So if we are to draw an example diagram, I'm going to start by drawing a right angle. I know this is a right angle because I put my little square in the corner. That is the only way we know for certain this is a right angle. And now I'm told that I need two angles, so I'm going to just split it right there. You can draw in that ray wherever you want, so long as it's in the middle. But here we go. We have a set of complementary angles. Angle A and B are complementary because they form a 90-degree angle together. The second definition that we need to go over is very, very similar to complementary. It's supplementary angles. With supplementary, we're talking about two angles that add up to 180 degrees this time. So now instead of a right angle, we are talking about two angles that form a 180 degree angle. Well, a 180 degree angle is just a straight line. So if I split this here, now I have angle A, I have angle B. They both form a line that tells me their total is 180 degrees. So looking at these diagrams, go ahead and pause the video, take a second, see if you can identify, are these angle pairs complementary, supplementary, or neither. All right, so let's see how you did. First of all, I'm looking at this box right here. I see two angles. They could be close to 90 degrees. However, I am not allowed to assume anything is a 90-degree angle unless I am specifically told that with that little box we see in the corner. Since I don't see that box, I cannot assume that these are complements, so therefore this is neither. Now, unlike that first example down here, I do get this little box right here. Now I know for sure this is a right angle in total. I have two different angles that are forming that right angle, so I know these are going to be complementary angles. Moving over here, I see A and B. However, they are not forming anything in particular. I don't have any right angle marks, and A and B don't form a straight line. They're on opposite sides of this straight line, so this is an example of neither. In fact, we learned about this one yesterday, right? We know that this is actually what we would call a vertical pair. Okay, and lastly, up here, looking at these two angles here and here, I see that they do in fact form a straight line. One of the only things we can ever assume every single time in geometry is that a straight line is always 180 degrees. So that is a safe assumption for us to make. Because of that, we know that these two angles are supplementary angles. Alrighty, moving right along. Just some examples real quick here. If I know that this angle is 128 degrees, what is the measure of angle E? Well, they form a straight line. So I know that angle E plus 128 must equal 180 degrees. So my only step is to just subtract 128 from 180. And you probably knew to do that without even setting up the equation. So as soon as we do that, we get 52 degrees for our answer. We know this is true because they are supplementary angles. Okay, and then go ahead and pause the video here. See if you can give the second example a try, and then we'll check our work together. Okay, so I know that the measure of angle A is 52 degrees, and I had to actually change the problem. It didn't work out nicely the way it was given to you, so we're going to use this. That angle B is 12x minus 16. So I see that these two are forming a straight line. Now, again, just like I said yesterday, just because we're throwing x in here, don't let that confuse you. You still know that angle A plus angle B must equal 180 degrees, because that is the definition of supplementary. They form a line, so they have to equal 180 degrees. Rather than write angle A, I'm going to choose to write 52, because that is far more useful to me. And rather than write B, I'm going to write plus 12x minus 16. And that still has to equal 180 degrees. And now this just becomes a solve for x problem. So I'll combine my like terms. 52 minus 16 gets me a 36. Plus 12x stays minus 180. 180 minus 36 from both sides is 144. Last thing I do is divide by 12 on both sides. So we get x equals 12. So far, so good. Remember, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. I'm always available to you for help. All right, let's bring it home. Last examples we're going to do are complements, complementary angles. Remember this one, they add up to 90 degrees. So they tell us that the measure of angle A is 34. Find the measure of angle B. Well, we know these two angles form a 90-degree angle, so 34 plus B must equal 90. Quick one step, just subtract 34 from both sides, and we're going to get 56 for the measure of angle B. We know this because it is complementary to angle B. I'm sorry, that should say angle A. Okay, go ahead and pause the video, see if you can do the second part, and then we will check once again. Alright, so hopefully we set up our equation in saying that 75 plus 30x minus 15 equals 90. Where did that come from? I know that A plus B has to equal 90. I knew that with this example, and I know that with this example. Only difference is now I'm using 75, and that goes in for one of my angles, and then 30x minus 15 goes in for the other. So here's my equation. Now I'm going to subtract 15 from 75 because those are my like terms. So I end up with 60 plus 30x equals 90. I subtract my 60 from both sides, right? I just start undoing everything that's being done to x. I'm left with 30x equals 30. I undo this times 30 by dividing both sides by 30. So in the end, I end up with x equals 30 divided by itself is just 1. That's all for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. I know I went through this a little quickly. Feel free to watch this video multiple times. Feel free to pause and resume as you need. And then also feel free to, again, reach out. Let me know if you have any questions about today's assignment or yesterday's assignment, or anything, that comes up in between. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe and stay healthy. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.